Fallout and Bethesda. A hilarious combination of words that typically leads to extreme disaster.
There are but 3 guarantees in this life. 1, death. 2, taxes. 3, video game adaptations are never safe. And that last...
I agree with that one. The first 2, I don't know. You can avoid taxes and you humans, I mean us. Yeah, I guess us humans die, kinda.
One is especially true today as we get into some interesting comments from the co-creator of the Fallout TV series. But we're also going to talk about our first ever clip that we've seen of the Fallout TV show. It's about 2 minutes long. We get to see the Fallout TV show running in all its glory. Dialogue, interactions, a good feel for the set, the pacing, the tone. How is it? We're going to talk...
Yo, we already seen this. It's a disaster.
About that and naturally get into the latest news surrounding the Fallout TV show. So thank you so much for tuning in, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're doing fantastic. And if you're into anything Fallout, please consider subscribing. So let's begin with that clip that we saw posted by the Fallout Prime Twitter account, where we see our vault dweller Lucy facing off against the Ghoul. This is something that we saw.
Dude, this looks so wrong. Like, what's going on? Is his eyes sunken in like he's dead?
Bits and pieces of in the last trailer, and in fact, we're going to use that last trailer.
What's going on here? Don't we have CGI? Can't we just, put them a little bit closer together? Now, not gonna lie, boys, it would still impregnate. But, a little bit closer?
Trailer to fill in some context clues.
That granny is the only character that makes sense because she knows what's up. She knows that vault dwellers are literally idiot inbreeds. And that's technically lore accurate because most vaults did not have a sustainable amount of people to not become deformed, malignant creatures after 200 or how many ever generations.
Clues. Anyway, Lucy is in real time failing a speech check before our very eyes. It's absolutely hilarious watching her talk her way in circles. Like, you could almost imagine the dialogue options as she's continuing to go on, and the Ghoul's just staring at her like, what? And the best moment, I think, of the entire clip, that kind of humor, well, it's not your typical Fallout humor of like that dark humor. It was still good stuff where you see this one lady on the ground just going, fucking vault dwellers. Like, I thought that was so great.
Best character in the series, trust me.
Right, so I really enjoyed the comedic touch there, but she's just going on and on and on. She unleashes a shot of what seems to be some sort of chem into the Ghoul, and as we saw in the trailer, he pulls it out and says that it's just a small drop in a big bucket of drugs. I wish he said chems, but I only have a couple of nitpicks with this scene, and I know it's 2 minutes out of what
I had like at least 50.
Seems to be 8 hours of content coming our way, but overall, I already knew my eyes liked what I saw. I thought the costumes, the sets, everything looked great. It was about the feel for the characters and how they interacted. And so when I started to hear the sounds of the Fallout TV show, I understood why I was gravitating towards being more critical of those. What do I mean by that? Okay, just bear with me for a moment here. I know I'm going to sound like a freak, and I might even prove Jonathan Nolan's point in real time here as he says that the Fallout TV series is not really going to be designed to appease fans as it's a fool's errand. And here...
No, it's not a fool's errand. They're already deflecting the future because they know it's coming. Appeasing fans is not even that hard. All you need to do is be faithful with what's written in the source material. Because guess what? People are fans of the source material because it's good. This is such an absolute modern Hollywood woke nonsense deflect. Oh, we're not appeasing the fans. Yeah, I bet you aren't. You're literally hiring constantly writers who actively check the checkmark twice where it asked, have you ever encountered the source material? And they said no. And then Hollywood actually does this. This is insane. They adapt something and they specifically try to find people who have no idea what the source material is and people who are not going to actually read the source material. Hollywood just tries to adapt something, and then they completely shit it up because it's just a skinwalker thing, okay? It's just something parading in the skin of whatever they're trying to adapt, even though they don't even care to adapt it.
fool's errand. And here I am about to complain about how the Brotherhood of Steel Knight sounds, because when you listen to the game, it's got a more, I would say, mechanical, hollow tone to it. And what they showed in the TV show, look, just hear me out, okay? This man sounds like Emperor Zurg.
Knight Titus of the Brotherhood of Steel, stand down or be cut down. So, we need to...
Why would a Brotherhood of Steel Knight even ever give you the options to do that? I don't know. Oh, wait, I do, because they don't care.
Again, Buzz Lightyear, for the last time.
See, I'm not crazy. It sounds just like it, but then you listen. I had to check myself. Then I go and I listen to the Fallout 3 Brotherhood of Steel Outcast and listen to the difference.
About damn time the reinforcements showed up. Fall in, soldier. We got multiple hostiles between here and the base camp. We're sweeping the area to secure it. Let's move.
Small thing. Not a big deal, I think, but it's just like one of those questions you ask yourself, why is this different? Like, this is a thing you hear.
I don't know. Why is he jetpacking all around? Why does it look bad?
For so many games, like, why is this different? Okay, maybe I'm just overreacting. I don't know, but that was the only thing that stood out to me outside of the Iron Man hand jets as he floats down to the ground very
That is hilarious.
awkwardly and slowly. That was
and he does a pose. I love that he does a pose when he lands. He's like, yeah, dab, or whatever that shit was called. Remember that one? Horrible times.
that was hilarious, but
I like the Todd. I like the Tide Pod challenge because it kind of filtered out people. You know.
kind of like how it has a passion project feel to it. You know, there's a lot of TV that's overly cleaned up, I would say, almost too perfect, too nice, too clean. It's like walking into a house with a very modernistic design and everything spotless. Like, you look around my office and I would say this feels very lived in. It's not perfect, but it feels very lived in. And to me, that's my favorite style. So this universe, in the way it was edited, the way it was put together, this clip felt very not perfect. And I think some critics will go hard on that, but for me, I like that there was this real touch to it. Maybe because in Fallout, the game, I like that there's this, at least lore-wise, very real touch to it. It's like, I believe, oh, this could happen one day. This is kind of scary, but fascinating. And so I want to see what this entire universe has to offer here.
At least the Ghoul has the right idea. He's looking at him and being like, holy shit, he's special. And not in a good way.
Universe has to offer here. So yeah, overall the clip was pretty good. The characters were funny. The set obviously looked great. And I believe this Brotherhood of Steel Knight is Maximus, as I speculated in my trailer breakdown. It's interesting to see.
How do you even speculate that? Everyone knows it's him.
The scratching through the Brotherhood of Steel logo. I'm guessing this is from the battle with the Yaogwai we saw in the trailer. I don't know if this is a deliberate, like, screw the Brotherhood, I'm gonna go do my own thing with this power armor and take out the Ghoul, because we know Maximus is out for vengeance on someone or something. We have yet to learn truly what that is, but that's just my prediction, that he's looking for the Ghoul. We'll see in due time. But anyway, just a little quick thoughts on the 2-minute clip there. Let's talk about this very interesting headline here that's making the rounds. And I had to say, certain outlets are potentially misrepresenting what's happening here with the Fallout TV show. I'm not trying to get ahead of it and defend it.
I wonder, what can you even misrepresent there? It's gonna be a shit show
before it's released. But I think when you look at a headline like this that says Fallout TV series co-creator says appeasing fans is a fool's errand, you see that and you go, man, Jonathan Nolan, what a douchebag, am I right? But I don't think that's really what he said. So I'm gonna go through the quote here before we get into his history of the Fallout series.
Oh my god, are we actually already there? Now, this is a quote. It's not taken out of context. But this is not what he said. Man, we're getting to Asmongold levels of logic here.
And offer my thoughts on what he is trying to say here, at the least. So IGN covers it saying, speaking about the new show at a press event attended by T3, Nolan explained that appeasing fans was not his sole intention when making the Fallout series, because he knew that would be an unattainable goal, so he instead tried to focus on making the best version of the game to TV series adaptation as a fan himself. Quote, I don't think you can really set out to please the fans.
That sounds like the most stupidest thing ever. Also, how long do you think until it comes out that this guy has not even ever seen any Fallout games?
of anything or please anyone other than yourself.
Not even played, but just seen any Fallout games.
Nolan asserted. I think you have to come into this trying to make the show that you want to make and trusting that, as fans of the game ourselves, we would find the pieces that were essential to us.
Yeah, just make the show that you want to make, because you know better, obviously. Exactly as the guys who knew better, to make the Witcher series. Have we read it? No, but it's probably garbage anyway, so we're just gonna do whatever the fuck we feel like, because we're better than everyone else. God, Hollywood is just this cesspool of non-stop arrogance.
And to try to do the best version, end quote. He then added, quote, it's kind of a fool's...
Okay, so let me translate that. I don't care about anything. I'm just gonna make whatever I feel like. Deal with it. Nice. That's nice. That's nice.
Aaron to try and figure out how to make other people happy. You've got to make yourself happy, and I've made myself very happy.
As always in Hollywood, everything is about themselves. It is what it is.
With the show, end quote. Now, this sounds scary for an obvious reason. We just saw what happened with the Avatar The Last Airbender show. Like, this complete disregard for the source material. The Halo TV show is still in its second season, a living...
I watched the Avatar fully, by the way. Now, did they completely remove a lot of the storylines, characteristics, and a lot of things? Yes, but I would say it's still watchable, even though they gutted absolutely all of the complexity out of every character that there is. But it's still at least watchable, technically. Well, arguably, I don't know if I would call it watchable because I have seen the original, and then I can kind of fill in the blanks and imagine stuff, or whatever, but hey, at least I could actually watch it. At least. Then admittedly, I also watched the 3-Body Problem, which is, dude, these people in Hollywood have absolutely no idea what people even are, I think, at this point. The 3-Body Problem starts off so ridiculously fucking weak. Because at the start, they actually give you, try to give you, like, human attachments and shit, but some of it just kind of... The first scene in the first part of the 3-Body Problem is just two random women get approached by a man and he says, hey, what's up, blah, blah, blah. And then they're like, I'm an astrophysicist. How dare you speak to me, you stupid Pleiadian. I'm a nanoweed fiber designer. It's like, the 3-Body Problem, I think season 2 is going to be good. But season 1, dude, until episode 5 or 6, it's a complete shit show, a disaster of how not to be human, okay? All these human relationships make absolutely no sense. And I don't think anyone in Hollywood is capable of making any sense. For example, I'm going to give you a 3-Body Problem example, what I mean by this. So, there's this character that's get absolutely brutalized by communist China. Her dad dies, she gets betrayed, she gets abused, and so on and so on and so on. That's why she wants to kill humanity. And the way she's portrayed there is just insane. It's like, you have no idea why she's angry at times. It's like, things happen and she's like the... Arnold meme that he clenches his fist and you're like, if there was no music, I would not even know if she's feeling anything, okay? At one point, she's like sitting on a tree stump, a guy approaches you and says, I know you love nature very much. Why? Because you're sitting on a tree stump, obvious. It's so bad. I mean, everything in Hollywood that requires actual... every time they try to portray human emotion and human interaction, it's like the most awkward, sad, unbelievable fucking thing ever. It is crazy. It is absolutely crazy how inept Hollywood is just to portray the most simplest human interactions.
Breathing example of bragging about ignoring much of the source material. Although I've heard that the second season is a big improvement upon the first. I have yet to sit down and put myself through all...
As much as I know, it's not.
All that. I have a lot...
They just try to, like, tease you coming back in and saying, yeah, look at that, they fixed everything. And then it's like, nope. Everyone's still as gay as a flamingo.
Out of TV to catch up on before I start watching stuff like that. But point being is we've seen time in, time out, the hardcore community ignored, and then you have examples like Cyberpunk Edge Runners, where the hardcore community was completely acknowledged with a deep story that ties into the video game in a meaningful way, and you see not only the explosion of popularity, the
Bro, no one even cares if this ties into the storyline or whatever, honestly. The fact about Cyberpunk Edge Runners was the fact that it's just good, and it portrays the Cyberpunk universe in a fair way that fans would expect. That's all you need to do. You need to portray the source material in a way that you would expect it to be portrayed, instead of this abomination of, oh, we're gonna do whatever the hell we feel like doing. Oh, here's power armor. It's made out of duct tape. Enjoy. You know? You don't need to follow up a story. You don't even need to go into an already existing story. You just need to be slightly faithful to the setting of Fallout, honestly, to succeed here. And they're not. It's stupid.
Celebration of people beyond the bounds of gaming and what it did for Cyberpunk as a video game. So I don't think adhering to what fans want is necessarily a fool's errand, because I think the reward can be massive if you do it right. I get the instance, like, he's probably talking about people like me, who I'm sitting here going, yeah, the Brotherhood of Steel Knight just, ooh, that kind of irks me how he sounds. And he's probably sitting there like, you fucking kidding me? This guy? Really? Like, look at everything else we did, and that's what you're talking about? And
I mean, the way he sounds, it's hilarious, but even I didn't feel like there's a need to say anything about it, because you're probably never gonna hear him speak like that again.
I think it's fair. Like, I do think part of that is fair. Like, it can be a fool's errand to get every little nook and cranny right, but I think that's what makes it right. That's showing reverence for the property, and then the fans who love Fallout put that on a pedestal, and then people who know nothing about Fallout go, oh, well, I never played the games, but I can watch a TV show. I got time for that. And they check it out, and then it brings them over to the games. Like, I feel it's a pretty natural chain reaction we've seen happen over and over and over again. But my interpretation of what he's saying here is maybe the hardcore Fallout fans. Like, I'm talking, there's two divisions of Fallout fans that have been there since the start. There's the chill Fallout 1 and 2 category, where, you know, they've just grown with the series. They've loved to see where it's gone, what it's become. Not everything's been perfect, but they've enjoyed the ride nonetheless, and they appreciate what Bethesda did in the terms of making it popular. And then there's like the super hardcore, I would argue more elitist side of the Fallout community that's Fallout 1 and 2 is the right way to do it. Bethesda killed the franchise. This is going to be more of mid. It looks awful, yada, yada, yada. And maybe he's talking about that. I would also throw in a third category there and say, like, the Star Wars equivalent of the Fallout fan. By that, I mean, we just got the new...
Yeah, I kind of agree with absolutely nothing here, but that's fine.
Acolyte trailer. And
Yay!
I was personally very excited for that, because I've read some...
That's because you're a Muppet.
The High Republic books, and I was hyped to see what they were going to do when they brought it to the big screen. Right now, I'm feeling super confident about what they're showing off here. We will check it out nonetheless out of morbid curiosity now. It doesn't look awful, but point being is there was this scene where...
It does look beyond awful. The Acolyte trailer, I think, is so bad that even people who don't care about Star Wars and don't even know what that is are just like, wow, this is just a... This is as woke can be. I can't wait until lightsabers can't even, you know, warm up a piece of toast.
Someone used a force push, and when they used the force push, instead of blasting them away like you typically see in Star Wars movies and TV, instead they slid on the ground a bit.
Yeah, because she's special. You just don't understand. She's special, okay? She's special. She's really good at the force. Why? Because she trained? No, because she's a woman. Yeah, that's pretty accurate, probably how the explanation would probably go there.
And they didn't go that far flying, and there were comments, people saying, what's changing with the physics when using the force? Or like there was one time in one of the High Republic comic books, I apologize, I don't remember what issue it was, but someone was about to fall, and they used their lightsaber to stick it into the wall, and it didn't like bring them all the way down. They used it almost to stab into the wall like a sword or something like that, and people were freaking out about that. So I think maybe that's what Nolan's talking about here, like, it's a fool's errand.
Well, yeah, people are freaking out about shit because it's kind of established that that would not work. Yeah, people are freaking out about it because I don't want to watch a Star Wars show wherein one lightsabers are used to burn toast because that's the only thing that they can do, and in another, a lightsaber literally is used to destroy planets, okay? That's not good. I want some consistency in my universe of a show that I'm watching. I want to know that, hey, if in one reality, if in one show a bullet does damage and can kill a person, I don't want to watch another show where 100 bullets don't do anything to anyone because reasons. Yeah, we want consistency. That's not a lot to ask also.
Because you're gonna piss someone off somewhere. And so he says, hey, like, we're fans of Fallout, and if we're fans of Fallout and we're doing stuff that we like, then maybe that is something everyone will like. Here is the key. He is, in particular, a massive fan of Fallout 3, something I can relate to, so it's music to my ears, but maybe not to everyone else. So he says, for me, it started with Fallout 3, which devoured about a year of my life, recalling the moment he found and got...
I'm gonna assume this is a lie. You're honestly safe to assume that typically this shit is a lie. All of these people just lie, so, you know, they're smart enough to know that they can't just come out and say, oh yeah, the original franchise, I hate it. No. Everyone who gets the job at some kind of series, Witcher, Netflix, Fallout, He-Man, She-Man, or whatever, they're instantaneously going to say, like, I was a fan of this since I was a child. And then you find tweets of them from 5 years ago where they're laughing at the show because it's stupid in their opinion and they have never watched it. That has happened multiple times at this point.
Got hooked on the games. I was an aspiring young writer at that point, and it almost derailed my entire career. It's so ludicrously playable and fun. Seriously, the games were just incredible. It's such a rare and unbelievable thing that I've gotten to do twice in my career, to take something that you love and get a chance to play in that universe, to create your own version. The first go around for me was Batman, and this time with Fallout, a series of games that I absolutely loved. So he's referencing Fallout 3 where it began. He didn't really get into what other Fallout games he had played.
That's also not good because Fallout 3 is kind of weak. Fallout 4 is even better than 3.
Maybe he's played 4. I don't know if he went and played New Vegas and went into the deep cuts with Fallout 1 and 2. So maybe he went into that deep cut with like Fallout 1 and 2. I typically see people play the modern Fallouts first, and if they really love that world, then you want more of that and you go into Fallout 1 and 2. So maybe he went ahead and did that. That would be the hope, obviously, because you want...
Yeah, I'm kind of disagreeing on every take he has about how people look at shit.
Want to see, like, especially when you're doing things with Shady Sands that are of significant consequence, I feel like Fallout 1 and 2 need to be played and respected in that way. The other thing worth considering is how much does that love branch to other storytellers? What I mean by that is the first 3 episodes we know are directed by Nolan. We don't know beyond that. And let's say he gets to play around with 3 episodes and set up a great tone. I always look at, we used the Star Wars example earlier. I look at what happened with the sequel trilogy, right? Like, you had multiple directors, conflicting visions, and obviously once we got to the end of it all, it wasn't much of a conclusion and the story was a complete mess. So I'm really hoping here that when the baton is passed to a new director, it's someone who has that same adoration, that same enthusiasm. We don't know if it's going to be multiple seasons. If it's a one-time story, great, but we don't really know yet.
Oh, it's going to be multiple seasons of disaster. It's going to be at least 2 seasons. Well, then again, we don't really know because even She-Hulk got cut down and whatnot, so maybe there's hope. Who honestly knows? Anyway, that was hilarious. That was Mr. Matty Plays. Bravo. I enjoy it because it's always funny. And this is Quizzer said, thanks for watching, subscribe if you haven't already, and have a nice day. Bye-bye.